to The Truth Will Not Be Silenced, the show that allows people to be seen, to be heard, and to be human. I'm your host, Melissa Woodfork White. In today's episode, we will talk about proven strategies for financial planning with Mike Kelly. Sharing our stories allows us to encourage, inspire, motivate, uplift, and help others. There will be a special surprise at the end of the show. Be sure to listen all the way through for the details. Our special guest today is Mike Kelly. He is an executive coach, financial planner, and board director. He serves as the managing partner of Right Path Enterprises and is the founder and principal of Kelly Financial Planning. Additionally, Mike is a speaker and author, specializing in topics that enhance both individual and organizational performance, as well as life and financial planning. He holds a Bachelor of Arts in Business Administration from Mars Hill University in North Carolina and a Master's of Business Administration from Webster University in Missouri. Mike is also a certified executive coach, certified financial planner, and a registered life planner. Mike's book, Leader Influence: Secrets of Leadership Essential to Effectively Leading Yourself and Positively Influencing Others, shares his insights on leadership and personal development. Mike is going to share with us about proven strategies for financial planning. Hi, Mike. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Melissa. Thank you very much. It's great to be with you, and thank you so much for having me. I'm really looking forward to our conversation, and congratulations on your success.
Thank you so
It
much,
makes a
and the
difference out there.
same to you. So
Thank
let
you.
us go ahead and get right to this first question. What is a financial planner, and how did you become one?
Well, a financial planner is someone who is a professional, and sometimes it's referred to as, so some people refer to themselves as financial advisors. But the focus really is on helping individuals, families, and businesses create strategies that they can use or that will be helpful in managing their financials and their financial lives with the goal of achieving the goals that matter most to them. They provide also coaching, and they provide advice in areas such as retirement planning, investment planning, education planning. For example, if someone wants to plan, save for their children's education, insurance, estate planning, and cash flow. I can go on and on and on, but they provide support in that area.
Okay.
The career designation for financial planners is a CFP, Certified Financial Planner designation, something that I achieved in 2020. And it's a very difficult process, but it's something I'm so glad that I did because I am much more knowledgeable about the industry and about what is needed when it comes to my clients and serving them at a high level. But this thing is ever changing. This is a very complex area. And what I find is that most people are somewhat fearful about financial planning. So because of what I've gone through, I can help, in some cases, calm those fears and help people get clarity around certainly what matters most to them, but then how do we develop a plan to help you achieve that? Now, when it comes to advisors, you have some advisors who they are AUM type advisors. They take your assets, they invest those assets for you. They'll meet with you every so often just to update you. And they take your assets and they manage your assets. Then you've got others who might be insurance agents or annuity salesmen who consider themselves financial planners as well. With me, I consider myself an hourly, fee-only, or project-based advisor. I
Okay.
don't take custody of assets. I don't sell products or receive commissions from any brokerage houses or mutual fund companies. My clients, they're really my only focus. And most of my clients who come to me, they're looking for a life and a financial plan, and they're willing to go out and execute on that plan. So that's basically what I do. And what I like to tell people, they often ask me, what do you do? And I often like to say, I help my clients and others conquer worries about time and money, unlocking new possibilities in their lives. We all deserve to be free.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah, yeah. And you asked me why I became a financial
Yes.
advisor. That is it. I want to help people be free. I spent quite a few years in corporate America with big companies, one multinational and one Fortune 500 in the States.
Mhm.
And I realized, and it's not just then, even before then, I realized that very few of us are financially literate. And if you look at statistics, they'll tell you that and when it comes to money, we struggle.
Yes.
And when it comes to people of color, it's even worse. So I saw that. And even growing up as a kid who didn't have many resources in South Carolina, relatively resource poor, but rich in every other way, I became hungry. My mom, she wanted me to be strong at math. And it's something that I guess I started to really become curious about. And I read everything I could get my hands on. But when I got into corporate America, I really realized the need. I was with a big international company and I was given a job of benefits manager. I was in
Mm-hmm.
charge of the credit union, the benefits office, tire store, trademark store, all these other areas. But the benefits office was really interesting to me and the credit union because I saw people making good money, but they didn't know what to do with the money. And I realized we've got a problem here. And I thought, what can I do about this? So I devoured everything I could get my hands on when it came to books and magazines and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Joined the American Association of Individual Investors,
Mm-hmm.
AAII.
Uh-huh.
If you listen to this and you haven't heard of AAII, please check them out. They are all about educating the individual investor. And then I also read Better Investing and some other things. And then I went on and got my insurance licenses with the goal of getting out of corporate America and doing this many years ago. But I had an experience where I partnered with someone who was selling product.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized, and this was very briefly, that's not what I want to do. I was doing this part-time. So I thought, I'm not going to do this. So I went on, continued my career, and things got worse. Pensions were eliminated. Most companies don't offer pensions anymore.
Mm,
We
yes.
have 401ks, but people know what to do with those 401ks. Found
Yes.
myself coaching people internally, and I thought it's time to go. So I actually ended up walking away from a great job as a senior leader at a company to start my firm and to volunteer in my community and to start Kelly Financial Planning and to be somewhat unorthodox because the way I work is different from most financial advisors, but I can sleep at night and I get satisfaction from really helping people.
I am so glad you shared that, and I'm so glad you said that because I was just about to say that is how you are very different from the traditional financial planner, financial advisor, where a lot of people, I will say this, I come from HR management and finance over 12 years in corporate America, working for Fortune 500 companies. And I will say this, back then I was a financial advisor, you know, yeah. But now I'm a financial educator.
Yes.
And so with that being said, 80% of Americans don't have access to financial literacy tools. They're not literate in it. And you've already talked about it, over 80%. Over those same 80%, they don't even have an emergency fund, meaning
Right.
that they're living in an endless cycle of debt. They're living in an endless cycle of paycheck to paycheck because they don't have the tools and the know-how to manage their money. In addition to that, 10 to 20% make over 100K and
Yep.
still don't know how to manage their money, and they're living from paycheck to paycheck, debt to debt cycle, because they think the more money that they make, the more money that they can spend. One of the things that I found out in my research, and I'm only sharing it because you talked about it, Mike, is that the
Great.
fact is that
Great.
is that the fact of the matter is that a lot of people that haven't had a lot of money, and then when they come into a lot of money, they don't know what to do with it. And then a lot of people that don't have a lot of money, they don't know how to make the money that they have work. And so one of the things is, this is one of my quotes. Melissa Woodfork White quotes. It's
Yeah.
not about how much money you have or how much money you make. It's about how well you manage your money. And that's where you come into play. Being one of those unique people that are not there to upsell them, cross sell them, or to make money off of them by taking hold of their assets and managing them to the financial advisor's advantage. You are for that individual person. You are for that particular entity that you are providing service to. You are very unique in the field of finance, very. Because when you said to me that I don't sell products, I don't take holds of other people's assets and manage them. I don't do it. I teach you. I give you the tools. You got to go ahead and execute that, and I will lead and guide you through that process. I think that that's fantabulous because when people take ownership of their money, their situations, they tend to and they want to execute it, practice it, put it into play, make that application. Then they can see their way out of a no-end situation. So I wanted to first commend you because I'm just like, you're doing something very unique that is not done in the finance industry. And I commend you on that. And in addition to that, I just want you to touch on, do you also work with those 10 to 20% of people that make over 100K that don't know how to manage their money?
I see it all.
Okay,
Melissa.
so you work with, to my audience who are listening and watching it, Mike works with all people of all incomes to help you with proven strategies for financial planning. And that is fantabulous, which leads me into my next question, Mike. What is your process? Because you're the principal of your own company, your own business, Kelly Financial Planning. What is your process for creating a comprehensive financial plan for clients with proven strategies? I want you to break it down for us.
Yes, yes. So I'll thank you for what all you said. It is so much truth, so much wisdom, many nuggets of wisdom. And assets under management, as I mentioned, I don't do that. Because I just don't do that. But I do have, and I don't have, there are no minimums. I work with people from all walks of life, and I actually have firms that have minimums, 500,000, million, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
who turn away a lot of clients. They're referring clients to me, people to me, because I'm not their competition. So that's happening. But with respect to my process, if someone is interested in working with me, I encourage them to go to my website. You can go to my website, Kelly Financial Planning. It tells all about me, a lot of FAQs, all the things that you would need. But if they are interested in having a conversation, they can schedule right there on my website for a 15-minute call, and we jump on the phone and I ask them questions about their goals. Oftentimes when people call, they want to talk about money. Well, I've got this, I've got a Roth IRA, I've got, I'm saving this, or I'm trying to get out of debt. And I'll stop them and I'll say, okay, we'll talk about that, but let's talk about your goals. What do you want this money to do for you? And that'll tell me a lot about them. And so we'll spend some time on that. And then I'll say to them, okay, this is my process. This is how I work, which I'll walk through the process. Would you like to go to the next step? And the next step then would be a get acquainted meeting. So this is a complimentary meeting where I would send them an email, and in that email, they'll get a link to my privacy policy. They'll get a link to a confidential questionnaire where they'll go online and populate this questionnaire. It'll ask information, contact information, family, employment, income, that sort of thing. Where are you on estate planning? It'll ask you about insurance. Where are you there?
Mm-hmm.
Liabilities. What are some of your goals? And then they'll take a risk tolerance assessment. And the cool thing about this questionnaire is that whether they work with me or not, they're going to learn a lot about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And some people struggle to complete that. But once they complete that, they schedule the appointment. And I work with people from all over the country. We'll jump online for this 45-minute, 30 to 45-minute meeting. And we'll walk through that document. And I will ask them questions to clarify things. And then we'll spend some time on their goals. What are you looking to achieve? So from that, I will know, okay, we want to retire at early,
Mm-hmm.
or we want to have enough insurance for my kids. We got young kids. We want to have enough insurance, blah, 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 whatever they want me to work on. Then we get clear on that. And then the goals. What are your goals? And when would you like to achieve these goals? So we can set aside how much that's going to cost and how that will impact the overall plan.
Mm-hmm.
So that is done. And then I give them a quote for the work that they would like to have done in that meeting. At the end of that meeting, and it's based on the number of hours it will take me to work on their project.
Mm-hmm.
In that meeting, they can say yes or no. If they say yes, then we go to new client onboarding.
Okay.
And new client onboarding really is all about sending them the information I will need to certainly get going. But I send them a client services agreement, all virtual. They complete that. And the client service agreement details our work together. Everything we talked about, agreed to, they sign it, comes back to me. I sign it, it's finalized. And then I'll send them an email. And in that email, they'll get a link to a secure portal where they will upload copies of their statements. The statements that I would need: retirement statements, bank statements, insurance documents, other documents that I'll need in order to start working on their plan. And normally from the time we sign that client services agreement to the time we begin work, it takes me about to have the plan presentation meeting. It takes about 30 to 45 days. More and more people are looking for people who work the way I do, but there are not enough of us out there. So I
Yes.
got a little bit of a backlog, which is nice, right? And
Yes,
but
it is nice.
yeah, yeah. So that happens. That happens. But then what I'll do, I also send them a link to a they'll have to complete a QuickBooks payment, the initial fee, which is a small fee up front. The balance is due at plan delivery. And
Okay.
then that allows me to begin work on their plan. And again, I will give them my privacy policy because privacy is of utmost importance to me. And I don't take that lightly. So I remind them of that. And I complete the plan. I do all the deep dives. We get back together. We'll walk through my findings, and it's somewhat of a draft. At the end of that meeting, things are finalized, and then I will send them a plan in the form of a PDF with action steps for them to do. Now, in these plans, and when I plan, I normally plan from a mortality standpoint
Hmm.
for women to age 94, for men
Hmm.
to age 92. We want you to have enough assets in the event that you live that long because we've all seen people who sort of underestimated longevity.
Hmm.
I want you to have money if you make it to that period of time, to that age. So since I don't custody assets, I encourage my clients to treat me as they would their dentist. I encourage them, Melissa, to if you have a job loss, health issue, marital issue, you got the plan, you're executing on it, you're taking action. If something happens, call me. Let's talk through if or how that might impact the plan. I
Yes.
also encourage them, let's touch base every year, couple years, whatever frequency that is that's best for you. It's up to you. Let's touch base. And I find that most people, once they get the plan, they start executing on it and they
Hmm.
make some steps, they're okay. And then I have some people who want to meet with me every 6 months just to make sure that
They're
they're
on track.
planning. Yeah. But I want to share one other thing with you, Melissa, on this.
Yes.
I had a couple reach out to me once and they were interviewing me and they're also considering some people who custodied assets.
Hmm.
So they asked me, we're busy people. Why would we select you? I said, well, I'm not going to do it for you, but I'm going to build a plan with you. And we're going to build this plan based on your life goals, what matters most to you. At the end of your life, you're looking back over your life. What do you want to see?
Hmm.
Let's get a picture in our minds and let's structure your assets because money's involved in everything to help you achieve it. And I said, you're going to have to do a lot of that. And I said, one of the good
Yeah.
things about that is you're going to learn because you're going to be forced to
Hmm.
also going to be able to teach your children. We've got to think
That's
beyond
key.
our own lifetimes.
Hmm.
They've selected me. I'm their advisor. We've got a great relationship, but we've got to think, we've got to use a telescope more often than a microscope. That's what I often encourage my clients to do.
Hmm. Those are proven strategies to financial planning because I will tell you everything that you've shared about how you do the process for the services in which you provide by your company, those are the key. And I'm saying it, one, because I come from your background, and two, I'm co-signing because a lot of people think that when they go into financial planning or financial advising, they think that they got to focus on their debt. They got to focus on this is as much, I have more bills than I have money. The first thing that you focus on is what do you want to do with your money? What do you want to achieve with your money? And so then they have to change their mindset because they're so focused on their debt, what they don't have, and now they have to shift their mindset to figure out what do they want. If they had the money, what would you want to do with the money? What does your future with having enough money look like to you? They have to shift that mindset. And so for a lot of people, that's hard to do, Mike. That's hard to do. And I wanted to know when you come across those type of clients, how are they able able to shift? What do you do to help them make that shift? Because some of them will pick it up right away, but then you have some of them that every time you talk to them, they still talking about their debt, how this
Yeah.
is doing, I don't have enough money. How do you coach those
Yeah.
clients?
Well, Ella Fitzgerald has a quote that I really love, and we've adopted this quote for Right Path Enterprises, my coaching consulting business. And the quote is, it's not where you've been, it's where you're going that counts.
Yes.
Debt can be a ball in a chain. It can
Mhm.
be something that's drastic, that can cause problems for us, that can really cause a lot of stress. And it's something also that can be overcome. we've got to believe a lot of financial planning, a lot of life begins with conditioning,
Mm-hmm.
past conditioning, and our mindsets. So we got
Mm-hmm.
to change our mindset. And the thing that is often helpful, I'm a registered life planner as well, is having a conversation around what matters most to you. For example, so I went through the George Kinder Institute, become a registered life planner. It took me a while to get through that, and I did my own life plan. But we take clients through a series of a structured interview, a series of.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a couple of questions. One of the questions is, say if all of your financial needs were met today and into the future, you wouldn't have to worry about money anymore. What would you do with your life? Would you change anything? Let yourself go. Design the life that is richly yours.
Mm-hmm.
So they have an opportunity to go off and think about that. And then they come back and we talk through that. Then I'll ask them, okay, say this time you go to your doctor and your doctor tells you you've got 5 to 10 years left to live. The good thing here is that you're not going to be sick during this time. The
Mm-hmm.
bad thing is you're going to die. What
Mm-hmm.
will you do the time you have remaining?
Mm-hmm.
And on and on and on and on. We get into the fact that we can get more money if we work hard enough, but
Of
we can't get
course.
more time. So
Exactly.
let's figure out how do we use this time we have well. And by eliminating debt, you're freed up to really lean into time. I heard someone say this, and I was trying to find where it came from, but it was, the wealthy think of money, the rich think of uh, wealth as time, the poor think of wealth as money. So we got to change our mentality. And I like to spend a lot of time there because many of us have been stuck with this whole debt thing.
Yes.
And I'm on the board of
Boring
a
cycle.
bank. I've worked for a company that's had credit cards, and it can be an issue. But if we get clear on why it's important to shift things,
Mhm.
it's much easier to have those conversations around tackling the debt so we can put this money in a place where it can multiply for us and work harder than we do.
I absolutely love how your other certified skill sets come into play when you're coming across those clients that can't get past the debt cycle to actually have them deep dive with those two questions. The first one is well, go ahead. The first one was,
The
Mike,
first question is, if you had all the money that you needed, you
there
were
you go.
financially secure today and into the future,
And
what would you do with your life? Would you change anything? Let yourself go. Design a life that's richly yours.
most people don't even get asked that question, Mike. That's
Right.
not an everyday life because 80% of Americans are in debt, living from cycle to cycle, paycheck to paycheck. And so for you to ask that question, you've already shifted their mindset. You've shifted their mindset to focus on something other than their debt, not having enough money. And so I think that that is also key to the certified services that you offer. So my next question would be for you, can you tell us about one of the most challenging clients that you have had and how you were able to help them overcome to be successful? And if you didn't, where you had to part ways, share that with us too.
Well, there are many stories, and I
Just
could
one,
share
Mike, just
situations.
one.
Yes, I can't say. Well, I had a couple come to me, and they were making good money, like great money actually, and they were mid-career, and they didn't have any children, and they were not sure of what they wanted, who they were, and there was a lot of stress, a lot of pain. Well, we took the time to go through that process. I asked them the structured interview questions that I just mentioned. Plus, there's so much more. There's some writing that they actually do. It's like three different sessions, 2 hours each.
Mhm.
And at the end, at middle ways of that, I take in all I've heard, and then I paint a picture of what life could be.
Mhm.
And we were talking, and it was actually virtual, and there were tears as these revelations, like they they realized what was possible, and they realized what they were doing to hold themselves back.
Yeah.
And we spent some time there. And then I asked them, okay, so this is what you want. What can get in the way? And we listed some things that could get in the way. I asked the question, how do you overcome those obstacles? For each one of the obstacles, we talked about what they needed to do to overcome those obstacles.
Mhm.
And then I asked them, okay, what steps are you going to take and by when? You're making that commitment. Now, who's going to hold you accountable? I'm willing to hold you accountable, but who outside of me is going to hold you accountable? An identified person or two.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to work. But I also encourage them to think about affirmations. When you're in debt, it's hard to get out of debt mentally in your own head.
Mm-hmm.
But let's speak it as if it's already so. Affirmations, affirmations, and then take with affirmations and then taking the steps, you
Mm-hmm.
start to build confidence and you believe you can. And when you start to chunk things and you see some of the debt go away, you exhale. You
Yeah.
feel, and then over time, if you got a plan, you can always come back to the plan. So we build a plan to support those goals. And that was one. Took a while, but the investment of time on their part and it's more on them was worth every penny of that. And I've had people
So
share
this is a success story.
the success story.
It took a while,
It took a
but
while.
they were able to achieve what they set out to do with you.
And yes, and I can give you other examples, but I will tell you, whether you have a dollar or whether you have tens of millions of dollars,
Mm-hmm.
I find that there's not much of a difference. A lot of it comes back to this,
Exactly.
our
Mindset.
mindset and our
Mm-hmm.
habits. We are creatures of our habits.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the ways to break habits is to certainly recognize that they exist,
Mm-hmm.
get some type of plan to help you move forward and support, but also take a look at the people you're around and some of the things you're doing.
Exactly. You have to take,
We can
you have to.
remove ourselves from the situations. If
Mhm.
you're looking to get out of debt,
Mhm.
get with other people who are doing the same. Don't get with people who are living in the stores, spending money. You got to
Yeah.
make different decisions, different choices, and a lot of that starts with your mind.
Hmm. And I'm in total agreement with you. Once again, I'm going to share just a little story of my own. Not as elaborate as yours, but that was, yeah, you really painted the picture. But really short story, I encounter a lot of people that think that they have to do it all at one time, which is a big mistake. And the main thing that I've heard you consistently say in this interview is in our conversation is the fact that this comes in steps, in stages. Even from when you gave us your comprehension financial plan using proven strategies for success, it comes in steps and in stages. You don't have to do it all at one time. And so with that being said, can you tell us about a time where you encountered someone that felt like they had to do it all at one time? Because that's like 80% of Americans feel like that the only way they can get out is they do it all at one time, Mike.
Everyone I meet, in most cases, think that they do it all at one time. And so that's just a place we have to start again. That's why I am such a proponent of plans,
Mm-hmm.
life plan
Mm-hmm.
and financial plans.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a quote by Germany Kent. So this lady, she says, no plan plus no action lead to no results.
Yes. Fact.
No results. That's why as you think about my process, it's slow. We ask questions, we take time, we park. So if you're looking to do something overnight, I'm not the right guy for you. I'm not the right guy for you. Investing is not overnight. You put $1
Exactly.
away today, if you take it out tomorrow, you're not going to reap the benefits of that.
Mm-hmm.
So that is embedded in all areas of when I think about my work in executive coaching and financial planning. And most people that I run into, they want it all now, but you can't get it all now. And that's why the numbers are they're terrible when it
Yeah.
comes to where we stand financially. We
Yeah.
want it all now. We want to get
Instant
things done now.
gratification.
And retailers prey on that.
Well, not only that, Mike, in that instant gratification, um, you don't get into debt in an instant. It
No.
takes time. So it's gonna take you time to get
Great,
out of it.
great point, Melissa. It's a
And
great
so,
point.
well, you said it, but that's what I got from what you said.
It's a great point.
Okay? That's what I got. And so
It's a great point. It's a great point. And I'll share one other quote. And I think this is by Lewis Carroll.
Mhm.
Time is the coin of your life. I think it's the only coin you have, and only you can determine how it will be spent. Be careful lest other people spend it for you. We've
Yes.
got to value our time more and we've got to create plans. I don't, my focus this year is really being an ambassador
Yeah.
to this whole movement because I'm learning and I'm seeing too much, and it doesn't have to be this way.
Amen. Well, Mike, this leads us to our final question. Well, not final, because there's one more after this one. But how does sharing your story today help others? Share, in addition to what we've talked about, share work that you're doing or that you've done to bring about change and any current and future plans.
Well, the first thing I'll say is I hope it encourages someone. We all have gifts,
Hmm.
and the world needs those gifts. But it doesn't just happen automatically. We've got to cultivate those gifts. And then if we decide this is where I want to be, we've got to do what's necessary to move towards that. And each and every one of us can do that. I created a mission statement many years ago when another part of my story of almost working myself to death, hitting a wall and all that. But I created a mission statement once I came out of that. My mission statement is to use my God-given leadership, analytical, financial skills to help my family and others grow to become all they're designed to be while continuing to grow myself. So my focus really this year is on living out that mission.
Hmm.
And it's also on focusing in on finishing another book I'm working on. That's
Hmm.
something that I'm working on, and I'm also, and it's on life and money. Some of our conversation, we could probably I could probably take a lot of this and put it in a book.
Go for it.
But also coaching single moms is something I've done, and it's
Hmm.
something I've leaned into, and also working with people who are an underserved community that haven't had access to a lot of this information. I'm on the
Yeah.
board of a minority depository institution, a bank here in Cincinnati, 130-year-old savings and loan mutual. And I've been on that board since 2023. We are focused on helping the underbanked and unbanked have a chance. And I'm also on a number of community boards, and I want to lean into that more this year. And on those boards, Opera Board, my alma mater, other boards,
Hmm.
on the investment and finance committees. So I want to use some of the things I've learned to help some of those organizations as well. But also to grow KFP. I want to grow Kelly Financial Planning over the next 3 years, help 100 new clients every year for the next
All
3 years.
right.
Maybe get a young advisor or two on board and help them understand this industry in a way that they can go out and help people in their own circles and beyond. So I want to do that, but everyone deserves competent advice, unbiased
Yeah.
advice. Everyone deserves to have a plan.
Yes.
That's something that is part of my focus, my mission for this upcoming year and beyond.
Well, I commend you on all the work that you've done, all the work that you're doing, and the work that you will do. Because once again, you are a gem in an industry that doesn't do what you do. People need you, they need people like you. So, with that being said, Mike, tell my audience, our audience, how they can contact you, reach you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Melissa. I can be reached at Kelly Financial Planning, uh, kellyfinancialplanning.com. You can find out all about me there. There's a lot of information there. You can also schedule time if you'd like to talk on the contact page. My information is there, my calendar. You can also find me on all the social media platforms. I'm on LinkedIn. Happy to connect with you on LinkedIn. Please reach out. I'm on Facebook, and I'm also on X. Not as much as I used to be on X, but I'm on X as well.
Understood.
But you can find me. You Google me. I'm out there, and always happy to have a conversation with anyone.
Well, Mike, thank you so much for joining us and being on the show and dropping all of those gems and nuggets that you have helped a lot of us with today. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're very welcome, Melissa, and thank you again for having me, and thank you for all you do. Keep
Thank
making a difference. The world needs your gifts.
Thank you. Next week, we'll continue to discuss and share about real life experiences, both personal and professional. Stories that need to be shared, seen, and heard that makes us human. The truth will not be silenced. To be seen, to be heard, and to be human. The surprise. If you like or leave a positive comment about our show, you'll get a shout out. This includes businesses, products, services, organizations, and events. Following the link in our show notes lets Buzzsprout know we sent you and help support our show. Buzzsprout is the best way to launch a professional podcast. Want to ask a question, be a guest, or subscribe to our podcast, The Truth Will Not Be Silenced? Click on the show link. Thank you so much for joining us.